key. Question the I. What was Socrates getting at when he said that a life without questioning is not worth living? Quest, I on. The Greeks were close enough to the Egyptians to know the difference between Ra and Re, at least among those who bothered to figure it out. And I have no doubt that Socrates knew these ideas, whether he described them as such or not. I'm not a fan of Socrates, but I do think this is part of the foundation of modern Western culture. And I don't think it's fair for people like me not to be able to question what is going on effectively in public, for us to be drugged instead. And for, when you look at my videos, the number one thing that they're doing is to force you to question things and to see why I'm right. To force a discourse, if you will, in a way that is honorable, right? Not with a gun to your head or something. Okay. So with that being said, let us talk about deal and devil. The wordplay around deal is sound, even if you don't believe the wordplay is real, because you're an idiot and you don't connect wordplay to Sumer, who is credited with the first system of the first writing systems, right? Sumer and Babylon. Deal, D-E-A-L, right? E-A being inky, D being dip, L being meaning Lord. Lead and lead, right? Turning lead into gold, right? Heaviness, right? Turning the big guy into the ideal man, right? Turning lead into gold, right? The golden trophy, the golden medal, and so on and so forth, right? In sports. Devil, D of evil, right? So you allow him to lead, and you allowed him to lead as pretending to be the ideal man. You live around the idea of his D. So devil backwards. Live D. Love odd. Love E-D, right? Evil. Live odd and love and live add. And live E-D. You live as the evil D's serpent, the servant, excuse me. And again, worship and war shape are connected. I can't stress that enough. Figure it out, right? Features. Hor, meaning face. Horse, which is something that they've obscured to some degree on the internet, at least when I was doing a search for it, but it wasn't obscured in my book. Okay, I do accept that as a valid description of Horus, as the face is very telling. People who are drugged up and drunk, we can usually tell right away. People who are disturbed, we can usually tell right away. And people who are too acclimated to evil, we can tell with their face and their behavior relative to what they're doing, for the most part. So let's look at the word like. Right? Why would you make a deal with the devil? You like to live, when live is evil backwards. Like, lie, key. Right? Going back to the key, the chi ro, Constantine. Le, ka, that's what you're supposed to like. Loki, mischief is what you're not supposed to like. E, call, and E, kill. Okay. In the mind, one is supposed to kill the E. And if the time is right and consistent with sacred morality, honor, righteousness, virtue, valor, etc., you are supposed to literally kill somebody who is trying to make you evil or harm you in a lesser way than that. Switch has the word witch in it. Switching, right? There's wordplay here. White, see, wait, see, what, see. Well, what are they talking about with white? Are they talking about people just because they're white? No, they're talking about the core. The king is the core of the culture. Is the governing class of white people or Westerners evil? Yes. So therefore, their core, see, right, which is expressed to varying degrees in all the people who conform to their Western culture, right, is evil. And they're switching what is good and what is evil, right? The humble black African hero is demonized. No one's standing with him, while everyone is waving flags and standing with Trump and other corrupt politicians, regardless of who is more corrupt than who. So, okay, backwards. Remember, the C can become an S, right? So, you. Okay, see, ah. So, say, see, you, and ah. Why? Because when you get catfished, it's a man, right? The witch has switched. Think about the witch in Sumer. These people migrated through Crete, where King Minos is said to found homosexuality, and Circe, right? Zeus, witchcraft, illusion. Yes, it is sick to pretend that you are something else and to trick somebody who isn't okay with it, right? For someone to pretend to be a woman when they're a man is evil. It's not just wrong, it is pure evil. It is sick. It is horrible. For a female who's underage to pretend that she is overage is evil. You're setting this person up. Why would you do that? That's evil to do. Illusion. L, you shun. L, which Lord do you shun? L and L, lays I, in and on. And also N. That's another one that can go in these words. N, which is Sumerian for Lord. Enki and Lil. And also An for Anu, you know, which is different than On. An is the sky god in the Sumerian illusion writing system, right? Oral, O, real. The real O is in the oral tradition. Sumer is all illusion. The truth is obscured in the illusion, but you're better off with a martial arts system. It's the same thing with the Bible. It's in the Sumerian to Greco-Roman tradition of written ideas. Jesus never wrote anything down for people to read as such, right? He drew something in the sand or something like this. There's a reason for that, right? Some popular philosophers around that time or something said the written word cannot be questioned. It's part of why I go into great lengths, right, over the last 9.5 years, thousands of videos to elaborate thoroughly and make minor mistakes that mean nothing. My key points: I'm the top martial artist, the last pharaoh, it ends with me, the divine, pure masculine spirit, Sun Temple order, martial arts to martial to order, and so on, right? These points are consistent and elaborated on, and there's some other key points that I can't think of at the time. Let's move on to why I'm persecuted and why you're insane if you don't see it that way. Government, right? Satan is said to be the god of this world. Why? Because people who try to live, they're evil. You know, they turn to cannibalism to live. They betray their own families like Judas in the story. This is a moral and a story. This is what we see in various forms all throughout history. So the idea of finding life, live evil backwards, is evil. The core of these ideas dominates the evil. He who is the most evil effectively, right, who's effectively the most evil is the devil, okay? And he who is the top martial artist with no ill-gotten gains that ends with me is the Son of God. The devil is a man. That's why they try to do things that are unnatural, and they try to put themselves above God and before God. He is the continuity of an idea being expressed in the most evil person of the time. Okay. And he's almost certainly going to be rich, but not necessarily. He's almost certainly going to live by himself, but not necessarily. One thing I can assure you is it is not me. I am going to die the last pharaoh, and I allow you to question things. Am I just the smartest person in the world and I tricked everyone else? You're an idiot if you see it that way. Listen to what I am saying. Okay? Who painted the devil as a dark-skinned person and why? Were they not a bunch of super racist scum? Okay? What they were getting at to some degree was a group of Africans who were kicked out of the martial art order, who found their way to Sumer to mix with other people and to then migrate at some point through Crete to Greece and then to Rome and then to England and so on and so forth. They branched out. These are sex cults who civilized the world, branching out, having experience dealing with martial artists, warriors, and adverse points of view, and they migrated around the world and became the ruling classes of the world, and they had secret societies, secret codes, secret rituals, secret handshakes, and secret ways of passing on power, so that when the colonialists came to America, there were already cults there, sacrificing people in some cases and so on and so forth. They didn't all get along, but they passed power. The biggest traitors among them conceded power to these other guys, whether they were extremely related or not. And a lot of them were set-looking people that don't look much different than I do right now because of the drugging and so on. They have these certain types of noses, these certain types of ears that are similar to a jackal because they were in the reproductive cycle of the jackal. Okay, but the jackal is also the son of Ra, right? He is the bad son. He is the black spots on the leopard. Okay? He is the female brain, the hoe, the tease, the get you to settle, set you up, set the stage, and so on. He's a scumbag. He's a cheater. He's a liar. He's not going to go to great lengths to explain why he's wrong, and he's not going to emphasize ill-gotten gains and say that it ends when nobody can possibly think of a reason why it doesn't. They have survived. They're in the repetition of evil and the reproductive cycle of evil outside of the sun. And there's many stories that allude to this idea, right? No bad tree can bear good fruit. You know, if the Pharaoh dies, the world order would collapse and the world be lost in darkness forever. And these stories are in various cultures and various forms, and I don't know all of them, but certainly there's many of them. Okay. Some of them obscuring the truth more than others. So science instead of spirit is key here. The simplest way to describe it is science, psychology, illusion, right? These are forms of science, okay? Pseudoscience, science, whatever, okay? So who emphasizes science instead of spirit, who has vested interest in covering up the ideal man, in redefining martial arts through science and propaganda, and with changing the ideal figure? Any figure that seeks to put itself above me, who benefits the most, is a demonic figure. If Bill Gates and Harry Potter convince you that the geek is superior to someone like me, they're the most evil. If some big, strong guy convinces you he's superior to the geek, he's the most evil. Okay, so all these other body types seeking to put themselves above mine is evil, because this is the natural alpha, mind, body, and soul. Okay, the people who help them drug me and so on, they're acting in an evil manner for whatever reason. Okay, why? Because they're trying to confuse you about me. You know, they poison the well, right? Recently in the news, the Spirit Airlines refused some water, and they showed a yellow airplane. And I'm going to get into the rights of Pan in this video at the end. But first, let's go through the groups real quickly and wrap it up. The military, obviously. Okay, you think the military moves in the spirit of God? Is God compatible? Can you serve two masters? Did not in Genesis God separate the light from the darkness? You know, I agree with these ideas. Is God going to work through the government? No. Is he going to work through the police? No. Intelligence agencies? No. Government workers? They're government workers. No. Even park rangers. They write tickets, they work with the police, and so on and so forth. Corporations? Of course not. Corporate partners, corporate partnerships, sabotage and espionage. This is also why my family trying to start their own corporation and paying people through their medical corporation is on its way out because of me. Right? At your own risk. I sacrificed my family for the principles of God. That's what you're supposed to do. Matthew 10, in the true interpretation, I agree with. Political groups, left, right, and middle. These people make up the government. Are they moving in the spirit of God? Oh, man, that's a good one. Of course not. Of course not. Okay, gangs, organized crime, contractors. No. They're not in the spirit of God. They're in the repetition of criminal activity trying to find their life in this world. UFC